In this video, I'm going to talk about secondary colors. Secondary colors are what you get when you mix two primary colors together. So one primary plus one primary is a secondary. All right, you will find secondary colors right in the middle, in between the two primaries that make it. So we see here, this is between blue and yellow, so that will make green. Same with purple, it's between blue and red. Same with orange, which is between yellow and red. So it is time to start mixing some colors. I'm going to start with green. You see, I left some space open in my palette, but you can mix using any cup you want. Or some of you might be using palette paper, which is just a flat, waxy sheet. Then you can mix right on that paper. So I'm going to start by taking some yellow. I'm just going to swoop it up with my brush. Got a little bit of chunk in there. And kind of twisting my brush to put it into my palette, into a fresh section, just like that. Now, in an ideal world, I should be able to do an equal amount of yellow and blue and come up with green. However, pigments and paint pigments don't really work like that. What happens is different colored paints have different strengths. So yellow is a pretty weak color. It gets overpowered by other colors quickly, whereas blue is a very strong color. There's a lot of pigment in there. So when I'm ready to add some blue, I'm going to need to rinse my brush. So again, I swirl it against the bottom. I wipe it on the side. I can see I still got some yellow on there, so I keep swirling to get it all clean. Wipe it. It's really, really important that you clean your brush between swooping colors because you don't want to contaminate your yellow. And then I'm going to clean my brush on my paper towel. Now, since blue is a stronger color than yellow, I'm going to take a little bit less of it, maybe something like that much. And when I think I've got a good balance, I'm going to start mixing. So I'm just going to use my brush, combine the two together. All right, and make sure I scrape the sides to really get a good mix. Like so. I wipe the excess off my brush and go back in and I mix again. So this is the color I've got. To be honest, I think it needs a little bit more yellow, which is crazy because I already used so much less blue than yellow. So if I need more of a color, I rinse my brush, make sure it's completely clean because again, I don't want to contaminate my yellow. Wipe it off on my paintbrush, grab some more yellow. Yeah, I'll give that a try. And I'm going to continue mixing. Notice how I haven't mixed a ton of green in here. I didn't need a lot. You know, just enough to make it work. All right, that looks better. So when I like my color, I'm going to get some on my brush, and I will paint it in my color wheel in my green section. Now, sometimes it can be a little tricky to know when you've gotten your color right. So for this assignment, I'm going to be attaching a color wheel with what your colors should look like, so you know your goal of what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so there's my green. Clean my brush. Wipe it off. And then I'm going to move on to purple, which is red and blue. So I'm going to start by grabbing some red. Now red's kind of the in-between strength. Yellow's the weakest, blue's the strongest, red is in the middle. So I'm still going to need a little bit less blue, but not quite as severe a difference as with my green. That looks good for red. Now I rinse my brush. Wipe it off. And I get my blue. Yeah, I'm going to give that a try. So I'm just going to start mixing. Okay, so one of the really unfortunate things about our paint, and most paints actually, that it's really hard to get a bright, vibrant purple. All right, it doesn't happen. It has to do with some more science stuff. You might have heard of like how light becomes color based on how it's filtered. That's basically what's happening here, and pigments can't really filter in the right way for eyes to perceive a really bright purple. So I'm just going to do my best here. Now sometimes this looks really, really dark in the palette, so if I swatch it on my paper, I can get a better feel for what's going on. And I actually think I need a bit more red, so I'm going to clean my brush. Wipe it off. Get some more red. Yeah. And mix it together. Okay. I think that feels better. So this purple that I painted is still a little bit wet, but it should be fine to just kind of go right over. Yeah, it covers. Again, flat brush to fill it in. Okay, there we go. There's my purple. And again, I'm just going to put a little extra off my brush and rinse it in my water cup. Wipe it off. And now it's time for orange. So I'm going to need yellow. I'm running out, but that's okay, I can get more. Okay, yellow, rinse my brush. Wipe it off. Okay, my water's starting to get a little bit dirty, but I can get through this last part. And then a bit of red, but not as much red as I have yellow. Start with that. Mix. That looks a okay. It might need a bit more yellow. So I rinse my brush. Dry it off, see if I can scrape a little bit of yellow out of here. There we go. Mix it in. That looks better. And then I'll go ahead and paint it in. So the danger of dirty water, you can see my water is looking kind of like a dark purple now. And that's going to contaminate my colors. It's going to start to make things look darker and less bright and vibrant. So you want to keep clean water in order to get the best results. Get a little messy here, that's okay. This is just for practice. All right, there we go. There are all of my secondary colors on my color wheel.